will have to look. Let's see.
Okay.
Let me see real quick.
There is a warrant that we need to remove, accounts payable warrant, and there's invoices in there for most of us. For most of us to get reimbursed from the conference, except you.
Oh, I was wondering why I was the only one.
So I'm not certain what we're going to do with that because we can't ever vote on it.
It's the
Right.
So-
S120825. is the one
Not
that-
the A?
No, that's the SA one is a student activity.
Okay, so S120825, I want to remove that from the consent items. All right, with that, is there any discussion on the consent items? Is there a motion for the consent items?
Motion to approve the consent items.
Okay, is there a second? Seconded by Mika. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. So it passes unanimously. All right, do we want to bump food service up?
Yes, please.
Yes. Do you mind? Does the committee okay with that? Okay, please, come on up.
Over here?
Yep. You have to talk into that microphone or else the guy in the back yells at me.
Okay, can the guy in the back hear me?
Yep.
All right.
If he can't, see if it's coming.
I'm going to yell at you, Matt.
Coming to yell at me? No? Okay.
So this is Matt Lillybridge, our food service director.
Hi. Nice to
Hi,
meet
Matt.
you
How are
all.
you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Nice to be out on a nice dark evening.
Yeah, right.
And-
Cold, right?
Oh my God, cold. Yeah, it's negative something outside. Do we know why I'm here, or do I have to? I haven't done this with you guys.
So I'll give you a little intro.
Okay.
So Matt is coming before us today because we need to have a adult meal price increase. So he's going to give you a little information what this involves, and then he's going to make a recommendation, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
All you, Matt.
Great. So basically, as far as I understand, we haven't changed our meal price for adults in at least a couple of years. It has been a flat $5 price, which is inclusive of tax, which is nice for the teacher. USDA, however, requires that we increase our meal charges every year to account for the value of the food that they give us. And they have in the memo I've given you, basically the formula is the free reimbursement plus the value of the USDA foods, which are the foods that they give us that we use to produce food, the adult meal has to be that or greater, plus tax. And right now, that should equal $5.05. We're charging $5, which includes tax, which is roughly $4.71. So we're not meeting our minimum requirement. I recommend that we basically project our reimbursements for next year, and that we raise our total to $550, which would include all of this year and all of next year, and cover all of our costs, or rather the requirements from USDA, plus and include tax, so still make it simple for adults.
Okay.
Okay? And that's we're not touching student meal prices, we're not changing anything with students, and yet the students are universally free, so generally that doesn't affect them, but they do occasionally buy extra meals. But we're not talking about that today.
So
Further-
from the committee, I'm looking for a motion first.
Motion to, so I just want to make sure I understand, it's $550 starting
January 1st would be great.
January 1st for the rest of the school year, and then
And all of next year, right.
Okay, so I make a motion.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right, and now discussion. Go ahead, Mika.
Thank you. So I have a couple questions.
Sure.
So the $550 for adult meals, for students who want a second meal, is there a different cost?
Yes, it's currently $4 and it'll remain that way.
Is there a difference in the amount of food?
For an adult and a child?
Right.
Yes, significantly.
So so adults are able to get more food?
Yeah, adults generally are given larger portions than students.
I'm going to tell you why I asked this question, because I buy kids food all the time. And so we recently bumped ours up but previously the staff paid the same price as students, so it was really easy for me to buy kids food at $3 or something. I just put 20 on my account, and when a kid was hungry and wanted an extra meal, I would just be like, okay, food, and now it's like $5. A little harder for me to do. So that's why I was asking those
Yeah,
questions.
it's just for, so if you were buying food for a student, you could say, I'm buying this for a student, and they would ring you they would ring up a student meal, they wouldn't ring your.
Okay, and there's nothing legally that prevents you from doing that, even if it's coded as an adult meal.
I mean, it would be coded as a kid meal because it would get credited to the kid even though you paid for it.
So, I mean.
Well,
so-
I think the adults, there's a code that they put in for adults, or adults don't get a code, you just pay.
So all meals are tied directly to accounts.
Right.
So each student has their own account, each adult has their own account. And all students' meals are free, or at least their first meal for breakfast and for lunch. So if they've gotten that meal, then yes, they would have, if a kid put in their, I'm trying to answer this correctly.
Oh, I get
If a kid puts comes through the line, gets a lunch, and comes and says, hey, I'm still hungry, they could come back. If they put their number in again, it would say, okay, you owe us money. But if you put your number in, it's going to say, well, you're an adult, and it's going to charge you as an adult.
Right.
And I prepay.
You can't really buy a kid's meal as an adult.
Right, yeah, it's not, I mean, you can insofar as like a principal might say, hey, I want to buy this kid a lunch, and we say, okay, and we sell it to them, and it creates a negative on their account, which they're not technically allowed to do, and then the principal or the principal hands us money while they're standing there. It's really the only workaround to that.
So just to check and make sure I understand.
Sure.
Starting in January, just by law, it should cost $5.40, right? And then January 2027, it should cost $5.51. Am I reading?
Yes,
right?
you were right. And so by law, really, it should cost $5.05.
Right now.
And then, for right now, it should be $5.05 plus tax.
Got it.
The way the adult meals are charged here is inclusive of tax. In my past districts, it was this price plus tax. So, it was $5 plus whatever the tax was. 35 cents, you need to pay $5.35, or if it was 47. I mean, it was just a weird number, but it was what it was because that's how taxes work. But
Will we be a penny short in 27?
no, because we've been overpaying for 26.
I see.
And we're not talking about a massive amount of
Yeah, like how many people
of
buy it?
adult meal sales. Yeah, it's it's nothing like what we feed for kids. I mean, this year we've had like about 700 meals. Our best year a couple of years ago, we had 4,500 for the year for adult meals.
Don't
And
we
that's
pass
when
a
I
motion
worked
to
in the
make it the
school and
minimum
bought them.
forever? So that we don't have to do this every time? Could we just have a motion that says whatever the law says, so we don't have to have the conversation?
Yeah, I mean, that would be my ideal is like just you set
But
the
if that was
policy
the
as whatever
case,
it
we
is.
wouldn't be making it 550. We wouldn't be making it an even number. Like we'd be
But we would-
making it.
Yeah, we could just say from this point forward, it will be, or from January 26 forward, we're going to charge the legal requirement, and it's spelled out here.
Is that allowable?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm just trying to solve the problem
Yeah,
permanently.
yeah, yeah. No, I get what you're saying. I'm trying to figure out if you should amend the motion or not.
Because every year it's going to increase.
Right.
And unfortunately though, the reimbursement doesn't, one year it went down, and one year it doubled because they said, oh, we didn't raise it. And but it's looking at the last 5 years, it's generally been 5 cents. It's actually 5.5 cents. And the value for USDA foods is similar. It's
Yeah. So I would just make a motion that says this part, so that we can say, yes,
Does
let's
that
do it.
impact, because he's asking to charge $5.50 as of January. So my motion is to charge $5.50 starting in January, but the minimum, it sounds like, would be, I just don't know how that squares with like,
Charging
is
that
that the
balance
requirement
number.
to charge the minimum, or is it at least the minimum at his discretion? I don't really know.
So we have to charge the minimum plus tax.
Right, I understand
Like just,
that.
I mean, like that's
Yeah.
my minimum, or, you know, that's,
We're debating if Jake made this motion, and he's making it, but if he did, we would say we would just allow you to set the price at
Sure.
the minimum plus tax.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But then that wouldn't equal like a balanced number.
It would not.
Like 550, like
Right.
you'd be charging teachers 537,
right,
and then teachers that are paying you cash would be annoyed.
exactly. And I mean, already,
Punch in?
yeah, 90% or more of our teachers prepay with their credit card and don't pay cash. Cash is mostly from a la carte sales with kids.
Okay.
But, you know, lots of places around, I mean, just around Belchertown are stopping to give, they're stopping giving back
Yeah.
pennies.
So how about for tonight, we just move forward with this, and then we'll see if Jake, you can make that blanket motion, and we'll just make that, and then we jump.
I'll do some research and see if we can do that. My only concern would be that the school committee would never be aware, except through a memo, what the meal price is for adult males, and that may be fine, you know, only because you approve, you know, other things. I would just like to double check. I'm not saying that we can't do it, I'd just like to double check.
Are you comfortable with doing that?
I was just trying to make this
Okay.
easy.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
I know,
that would
I know,
be
I know.
great.
I do not feel strongly, I don't think.
I mean, but if you got a
a
nefarious food service director, they could make it $10 and then pocket somebody, like, you know, no, I know you couldn't.
Is that, wait, that's an,
All right, any other discussion? All right, so with that, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So it passes unanimously. Prices will be $5.50 starting January 1st.
great.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Matt.
You're welcome.
You're all set.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back to our regularly ordered agenda and Cold Spring. Let's talk about that.
So we met with Swift River today, the staff at Swift River. We got some impact, some feedback from them, just gathering information. I met with all 3 schools that it impacts. So I'll put together a little PowerPoint and give you some feedback on that. We've been working on the rooms at Swift River and Chestnut Hill and Javish. In the beginning of the new year, we'll be working on scheduling. Eric is pursuing some options around transportation, so we're looking at that as well. When we were also up at Swift River, we talked about the play area for first and second graders in pre-K and 2, so we think we have a solution up there. So we're definitely moving forward. As the new year comes, I'll meet with parents of those students that will be moving. Of course, anybody that wants to show up can show up. So we're moving along. Come the new year, we'll be getting a lot more, diving into this a lot more, but I just wanted to let you know that we're still moving forward behind the scenes with all of this.
And I know you had a webpage about it too?
We do have a website, right, up on the, yeah.
Where do they find it on the,
There's a link on our website on the main bar.
Okay.
It should say Cold Spring Closure.
got,
There's not much there yet.
Right. Once we get the PowerPoint together, we'll put that up there, and then we're putting together a list of questions like we did with Chambers Brook and all of that.
Can we advertise the website in Friday Focus?
Yep.
Maybe put it in the bottom Friday Focus, and then you can track how many people actually click the link, get to the bottom.
That's right. Read it.
Okay.
You've read this
All right. Competency determination.
So I'm not sure who wants to talk about this. It was in C&I and in P&P. The state gave us some guidance in which we need to have a policy for the competency determination for the Belchertown Public Schools. Remember that now NCAS is not a requirement for graduation. There was some guidance in your packet. You will see what we put together. Sean did a lot of this work with the principal and the counselors at the high school. I don't know if you want to say anything. I don't know if C&I wants to start. or P&P.
I think the important things to note are that this does not represent a change from what we do, except that MCAS was the competency determinant, and now we're saying if you pass the courses that MCAS once assessed, that is how we're determining competency. There are considerations for special populations as required by law. Most of the language is taken right from DESI recommendation and is what's required by law. There are a small number of cases where we've had to do different or unique things in the past. A student who is homeschooled through 10th grade comes in 11th grade and has to demonstrate how they've met biology standards, and we either do that through any one of what you see there, or have them take an assessment, or have them take biology. So there's, as we went through scenarios, the more we dug into what is recommended and what's presented, the more we have realized that we've dealt with that scenario already at some point.
Is there another subcommittee that wants to report on this?
Well, we were the same ones, but we, so policy moved for this to come to full committee and to waive the second reading. We have to have this input by December 31st, I believe.
I
Okay,
think a good way to think about it,
wait, before you do that,
oh,
we
we have
need
to do
motions.
discussion, sorry.
So I guess if we're looking to waive it, let's have that motion first.
Yeah.
Waive
So,
the-
motion to waive the second reading of the competency determination policy.
Second. Okay, seconded, made by Mika, seconded by Amy. Is there any discussion about waiving the second reading? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Now, we're looking for a motion on this.
Motion to approve the competency determination policy.
Okay? Seconded by Mika, seconded by Amy. Any discussion on this? Take it away, Jake.
Just super briefly, I think it's, the easiest way for people to think about it is essentially, the MCAS used to be in 10th grade with a graduation requirement. And so this basically uses a kid passing that 10th grade class as the new graduation requirement.
Competency determination.
Sorry,
Yes.
competency determination.
And I only say that because it does not affect our graduation requirements, and those you've approved, and they are much more rigorous than passing this series of courses. It's adding on many more.
And can you just remind me what graduating class this starts with? Is it,
It is the ones that just didn't take MCAS.
okay.
That was
Didn't
last-
take them, or they
Is that
They
did?
class
didn't
of
have to.
2028
Last year's?
Or 2020?
So
Seven.
sophomores last year.
7.
Okay, so this competency determination policy would apply to the class of 2027
That is
as a
my
start
understanding, yes,
Okay.
because they were the first ones who didn't have to pass MCAS.
point. Okay.
But a kid who failed the MCAS but passed his algebra class, does he fulfill this then?
Yes.
Okay, so kind of both work in favor of a kid.
No, because if you pass MCAS, we can't say that that's a competency determinant.
At all.
Right.
You still
That's
have
the-
to.
I'm
Okay.
thinking about like a kid right now, I'm a senior.
Yep.
I had to take the MCAS and failed, but I did pass algebra. Does that count?
Yes,
You
because
can
we
s-
had to do
Yeah,
the
you can
diploma
still
to someone.
graduate, but there's a different, what's that other diploma called? The one where you passed all your classes, but you didn't pass MCAS.
Oh my God.
There's another one. If you meet the graduation requirements but don't have the competency.
Oh, so you can't use
I think it's
these things if you're a senior right now. You have
Not
to wait.
these things, but there was a process for that to happen, because we had a student come back and get the right things. We made amends for the one student who didn't pass MCAS.
Okay, so this rarely happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that right? Yeah.
Class of 2027.
2027.
Thank
So
you.
that-
I just wanted to double check.
Okay.
And I remember we were talking at some point, like this could get in the way because you had to take a certain math class, but you could take it at JBish.
Yeah,
And
so,
how does that?
so what we're saying, with the way it's written right now from the state, it requires passing or competency in Algebra 1 and geometry. And we are saying, and I think it's on the first page, and again later,
Okay,
there's like
sorry.
the or. We're saying that if a student passes Algebra 2, they have demonstrated competency in Algebra 1.
Okay.
So we are presenting what we do instead of trying to say like, oh, that could happen, so let's do this instead. It's like, no, let's just say what we do, and if they say, no, that's not right, then we'll adjust it. But
So DESI hasn't given their blessing to this?
no, and
Okay.
they gave a list of all the courses you could possibly count. There were probably 80 in the ELA list and 2 in math.
Okay, that's,
Algebra 1 and geometry. So,
that's all you need in life.
that's right. That's it. So if you take AP Calculus, meh, you can't do algebra.
I never took it. Okay, any further discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right, passes unanimously. All right, vocal data.
So I'm not sure if you want to table this until Ben couldn't make it tonight, but I did put the vocal data results in your packet. I think Ben is the best person to review this, but I wanted to put it up for discussion. I can certainly read it to you, but I know you know how to read. I don't know if you had time to look it over and have specific questions that you want me to ask Ben to be
I don't
prepared.
The only reason I wanted it on the agenda was because I think it's hard, I wanted to make it public so that our select board members understand that we measure things like how engaged kids feel, how safe they feel, how they feel about bullying, and how they feel about the environment. That's what vocal measures. And so when we see us drop below the state average, that could indicate, hey, maybe we need a guidance counselor, or maybe we need some kind of SEL curriculum or something like that in that particular grade. It's a good way to justify to the folks who control parts of our budget that we have needs. And I would, if not vocal, if there's another indicator like My Savers or some other screener that looks at how kids are feeling, I think it's good to keep talking about these things in front of not just us, but the select board and the finance committee in very public ways so they see. For example, grade 4, we're 7 points, this is not a percentage, we're 7 index score points below the state. That's a red flag. What's going on there? What do they need? It's not a criticism, it's a what do they need opportunity. So we could certainly ask Ben, like, what does this indicate we might need? Is there any kind of screener that we're doing right now? I know we probably did trimester 1 fall Savers scores. Is there anything there that you're seeing needs-based? So I think just getting the word out there that we're seeing a need.
Do you know what the, like, you said it's not a percentage, it's an average index score. What's the scale?
How's the index calculated?
Yeah, like what's the maximum number here? Like what is that? Like what does 7 represent? Sorry.
It says average research from 1 to 99, but I don't know what that means.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So it is kind of a percentage.
I assume when the question is asked, it's like, you know, feels very safe, moderately safe, kind of safe, indifferent, moderately unsafe. Like, is it asked, or is it just like a safe, not safe?
You
Yeah,
can,
I'm just trying to put
you can
like,
drill
that
into
minus
these
7 into context.
and find out
What is
exactly
that?
how kids answered questions to see what questions caused that -7.
Okay.
So you could say, I'd like more information about that 51 score for Belchertown. And he can show you by clicking through both.
So, does the committee want to have this again when Ben's here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be, if there were questions specifically like that one though, he does need to pull it out of it a little bit.
Yeah, so if you could email me if you have a thought or something, but he
Okay.
apologizes he couldn't be here.
No, I guess, I mean, I'll ask him. I don't like 7. 7 is high, but like, how high is high to be worried? Like, is 10 to be worried? 5 to be worried?
That's what
like,
I mean. That's what I'm kind of trying to understand.
Yeah.
Like put that in a context.
Like, I definitely
without
like
any
it when it's
scale,
positive numbers.
Hard to
I
really
just-
know what that number means.
Okay. All right, we'll ask for Ben again.
So the only question for Ben that I would ask is there anything that he sees in this data that indicates we have a need?
So can you email that to Brian too, so it doesn't get lost?
you write it down?
We're both writing it down, but still good to you. All right, budget development discussion action. Budget development. Was this,
So, yeah, there's a lot of conversations, how we wanted to go about developing the budget. Do we want to do it the same way? Do we want to do it differently? Jake can share some information with us. So,
before you do that, can I ask, will you be at the tri-board meeting? Because when they picked the date, I think you were the one member who couldn't be there, but every committee had one.
So next Tuesday? That was the only thing I have on my calendar. So I didn't
That one, we got a real
I
invitation.
didn't have anything for
I
yesterday.
have one
Yeah,
for
it is next Tuesday.
12:16 at 6:30.
That's right.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'll be there.
You'll be there?
You text me.
Perfect. Okay. All right.
Does that have to do with this?
Well, this was something we were going to ask about there too, so I want to make sure your voice is going to be there.
Did you want me to talk about this?
Yes, please.
I don't want to change anything. I just want to add what I hope is a small ask of Mark. Ultimately, in the conversations around budgets that I've seen, there's kind of like a top sheet that is very easy to wrap your head around as just like a layman. And what it shows is like, here's where the money goes. It's got athletics, it's got salaries, it's got big buckets. It's also got big buckets of here's where the revenue comes from. Title I, Title II, town taxes, state. So we can kind of see big buckets of money coming in, money going out. But I think a layer that would benefit us is, can we have one of those cells be changeable? So we hit, I don't know, maybe we are expecting 0.5% from the town increase in budget from last year. Can we see what our numbers look like if we change that one cell? Are we going to be okay? So a little bit of a dynamic top sheet that gives us a best case estimate, because all of these are going to be estimates with a lot of assumptions baked into them. Totally understand that. But it gives us a sense of like kind of where are we at right now. Yeah, that's the short version.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think we can do that. I mean, a top sheet, if we, whatever the categories you want it to define in terms of expenses, I'm thinking revenues equal a number, expenses equal a number, and then, the revenue piece is obviously, I mean, Chapter 70 and the required local contribution are going to come from the state, and then the variable piece is what the town revenues estimate is and what they're assigning to the school. So that's the part that's really going to be variable.
That one and healthcare come to mind as like, let's dial in a 20% increase, let's dial in a 10. Oh, when that changes, this is the effect it has on how we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we could do that. I mean, I think though with healthcare, once we get the number's the number. I mean, I don't think that would
Except last year, when it becomes a number twice.
Well,
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
Is there a way that one of the categories could be school choice? Because I know that Ryan was saying we use that for operational expenses, but the what if there was no school choice?
Yeah.
Right? Or what does that number look like?
That's a really good point.
Depending on how many, slots we are actually able to fill.
I mean, that's in the PowerPoint every year that we do, but yeah, we could put it in, I mean, again, when I say, revenues and expenses, which should balance, one of the revenues can be school choice, because that's always applied against the budget, so yeah, that's doable.
So I had an example sheet that I brought. Has Brian talked to you about this at all?
I don't think we talked about that yet.
So like it had basically what the last 2 years were like, and then current year, and then what next year is likely to look like. So you can see like the trend.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys probably want to talk about that and say,
Yeah.
as a group, is that,
Right.
what do you want it to look like, and we'll do whatever, whatever you want to.
I don't fully understand when you say, like, if the percentage changes, because, I mean, it wouldn't change everything. Like, we would, if we don't get the funding that we need, then we have to make strategic adjustments. So I don't fully understand that
I think it would just
aspect
show
of
us
it.
very quickly like, oh, if it goes from 2 to 1, we type 1, and we see how short we are.
Oh, okay. Like, okay.
all right, so let's say there's $100, right? Let's say we have $100. So we have $100 of the revenue coming in. And Mark's going to divide it out by school choice and Chapter 70 and required financial contributions and whatever grants, whatever, and it's gonna total 100. So then we have the expenses. And let's say, in a perfect world, our level service is 100, right? So then the numbers are put in there, but then if health insurance changes, you're gonna change that, and then all of a sudden, you're gonna see how short you are compared to what you can do.
You see a little negative number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have most of that. It's just giving us a number.
How time consuming is something like that?
It shouldn't be too bad, because, I mean, the budget itself, like, even when you get the budget packet, I mean, it's broken down by school, it's, you know, we can, how we slice it, you know, is not a huge deal. That's probably the biggest amount of work. The revenues, I mean, there's only so many. We have the grants that we can aggregate. There's circuit breaker, there's school choice, and, you know, there's Chapter 70, there's the required local contribution, and then there's whatever the town gives us. So that's only going to be 6 categories maybe, and then for the expenses, it's however detailed you want that in terms of how we break
The
it
only
out.
two I think that we would want to shine some light on and make easy to understand are salaries and healthcare. Because healthcare is the one that really killed us
Right.
last year. And it showed that, if it could show super clearly, here's where the money's going. That's the goal of this, make it very easy to understand.
Well, I think I'd also shine a light on like transportation
Yeah,
costs, special
great idea.
education, like those are
Expenses.
other.
I mean,
fixed
all
costs that
expenses,
we know
I
have
think.
increased that, yeah, I mean, we know
Utilities.
that those have increased.
Well,
Don't we do that?
I don't think we do it in the one cover page like Jake is talking about.
Yeah.
So when you first talked to me, it seemed very different than what you're asking for now, the one cover page. And I think we've given that information, but it hasn't been like a one
No, I
sheet to
think
look
you
at.
have this, it's just like, can we get it in a certain format to make it easy to see?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
how
we
can
have the
visualize it.
information. I think I'm just going to throw it out there because I've been, you know, talking to different people, and I think it's great. But like when we talked a little bit, Jake, you know, we talked about like some districts where the town was like an average 2.1, 2.5, 2.2 that they got above their budget for the following year. So we can do that. I just didn't know what number you want us to put in there or what numbers you want us to put in there because we don't have that consistency. Sometimes it's 0.8, sometimes it's 1.
That's why I make it a cell, we can type a new number in.
Absolutely. If that, we can certainly do that. That's not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
mean,
think
it'll
you can type in a
fluctuate.
percentage, because really the variable comes down to what the town, because grants are going to be, our estimates are always what we get the year before. Same thing with school choice, unless there's some big swing we know about, but generally they're fairly consistent. You know, Chapter 70 and the required local contribution is going to come from the state. You know, Chapter 70 is going to go up basically by whatever dollar amount. Like an FY25 was $104 per student. We don't know what 26 is yet, but they'll give us that. So that's not going to be a huge difference. That number will go up incrementally. The real flexibility in terms of what our bottom line is going to be what's the piece from the town, because the town is, you know, several $1 million above required net school spending. So it's whatever revenue piece that they're estimating that's really going to make the
And
difference.
what-
The other numbers are not going to change a lot, and they're going to
What
be pretty
about-
consistent with prior years.
What about that state number? Maybe I'm wrong. Does the state number change much or no?
Not really.
We
no.
have,
Pretty
what's
consistent.
it called?
Hold harmless.
Yeah, hold
Right.
harmless.
Okay.
So,
So just in terms of the cateries where
mean,
our
it'd be
money
lucky
goes
if we
that I'm
go
hearing,
up.
it's like transportation, salaries is what I suggested.
Special education.
Special ed makes a lot of sense.
So special ed, I would say non-salary special ed, like the tuitions and things, because if you're going to count salaries, you're going to count sped salaries within salaries.
Yeah, sure, right.
Right.
And maybe, I don't know, buildings, because I think people are going to have questions about Cold Spring and if that's possible. If it's too complicated, then no. I mean, I think we trust you, your expertise. You've done this, you know what people ask, you know the kind of thing that select board members hammer us on. Whatever is easy to put in our hands so that we can easily answer questions and justify things, the better.
Okay.
Now, Jake, you said when you're visualizing this as one sheet, there's current year and then the 2 previous years.
Yeah, so you can see like how it changed over a year or two. So you got like a column here, all your spending, all your whatever, however it worked. You got year 1 or 2 years ago, a year ago, current, next year.
And a projection.
Yeah, they can do that. Like I said, most of that data is in the PowerPoint, so we've done in the past anyway.
Right, we
We'll just
just-
organize it a little differently.
And I think once we finish with
Some.
negotiations, that will solve
Yeah, that's
That
a
is
big
too.
up in the air right now. I mean, I think a good place to start would be level service, yes?
Yeah.
Like, let's start with level service and then we'll change numbers as necessary.
But, yeah. And then
Maybe we'll get millions more.
Even if we
do extra
can
things.
just see it ourselves and we can type in a number, so we're like, oh, this is the impact.
Okay, perfect. So for the committees, I asked, when Jake explained this to me, it seemed way different. I didn't understand kind of the concept, but I asked to put it on the agenda so that we could all agree to it. So we're okay with that?
I just want to clarify one thing, because I understand the concept of level service, or maybe I don't, because every time I go to a different meeting, we have a different definition. But you're going to see some changes, because level service will not have those one-to-one positions that we had for the year.
Will we need
In
them
those.
next year?
We did not put them in the budget for next year, because we told ourselves those are one-year positions.
Okay.
I know at times you've talked about interventions though. And so if it's baked into our operational budget right now and you feel like we would benefit.
I think we can do that with the people that will be bumped, not the one-year positions.
Because the one-year positions were positions that were going to go anyway.
Correct.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Correct. I think we have to be fair to what we, we spoke about too. And, but you might see some changes in little lines too, because like we said, if we're going through it and we're having 3 years of high, we may make a little tweak there. So, but.
But I think that's fair, because like level service, if this year there was 7 second grade classrooms, right? So
Right.
every second grader had a teacher, and next year there's only 6, well, level service would be only 6 things.
But to Jake's point, those people that may be bumped for the transition, let's realign them to other positions in the
Yes,
district
but-
too.
6
Yes.
first grade or second grade classrooms would still be level service, and the individual people may move.
And if they move, is that part of what we would consider level service? I would say yes, because we're just servicing kids differently with the same amount of money, but some people could disagree.
Correct.
I mean, if they move, I feel like they'd be moving to where we need them. So
That's
like
my-
a third grade retired, so they're, replacing that.
Good.
Like, we're not adding sections or anything. Like, we're keeping it,
But you can see it both ways. You can
I
see it
could.
as a new position, it's a need, which we get level service, but, I get that,
but if somebody bumps over, they're replacing somebody else. They're not going to something totally new, right?
no, what we're talking about, if we bump you, instead of laying you off, maybe you're a first grade teacher, maybe we make you an interventionist.
So
for
you work
second
with the
grade.
kids who are
Oh,
struggling.
well, we
work with
didn't have any.
That was,
Correct.
Yeah,
an
Yes,
existing
so we
position.
just have to, we'll work on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll work on it, but I just wanted to be clear about the one-year position, so, because an example is the assistant principal at Swift River. We had talked about making a different arrangement with the closing of spring, so, yeah.
Okay.
So you're saying using that position in a way that still serves the same kids?
No, that position is
Just
gone.
gone?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I just want to be clear, I don't want anybody to think I'm doing anything shady or anything, but that position, once again, was 1 year. If we close Cold Springs, we wouldn't need it at Swift River, because we're taking the administrator from Cold Springs and moving them to Swift River.
Does that make sense? Yes.
Budgetarily, I guess I don't understand with the people that you have right now, what that means. That was like a plan, or that's the plan?
It's the plan. So like when we hired the assistant principal at Swift River,
Okay,
from September to June,
yeah.
the contract ends in June.
Oh, all right, now I'm
Okay.
following you.
And then we have an administrator that we have in-house that we're moving as the director of early childhood,
To
or
To that AP.
to that AP, and then there'll be 2 administrators and
I see.
director of early childhood or something. But yes, I just want to be clear.
Okay. Are we all good with this? Mark, you okay with this? Brian?
Good.
Yes, thank you. Thank you all for clarification.
All right, 12-1 select board meeting questions. I don't know who saw this.
I watched the meeting. I'm more than happy to table this. Brian emailed us and said, FYI, they were talking about School choice, does it cover the cost? They talked about Chapter 70 aid is decreasing. Why do the numbers go up? And why is special ed spending fluctuating? Those were the three questions I heard them ask. And so if we don't want to address it now, which is fine, I think we should be pretty well prepared to do a super parent-friendly explanation for the tri-board, because I'm nearly positive they're going to ask us there.
So I did invite them to this meeting, or I emailed Lisa and told her to invite her committee to this meeting. It was Friday, I don't even think they had time to post it. From when I invited, is anybody online from them? So, I don't know, they're not
She
here.
couldn't make it.
Who?
Whitney did
Oh.
tell me she couldn't make it.
So maybe we could talk about it briefly now.
I just want to make sure we're all on the same page, because,
Yeah, and then we can present it back at the board meeting, because I think there was conversation about school-related business that should occur at this board. But that's just my 2 cents. I will do whatever.
so my thought process was they were asking these questions, and this is a relatively new board, right? They haven't been in a long time. And I get the impression that they consider us a town department. And at the end of the day, the law makes us in charge of schools, and they're not in the mix. They give us the money, but they don't get to decide any of the decisions we make. And so I think that's just fine tuning it, and they'll figure that out, or, consult their lawyer or whatever. But I figured in this meeting, we could at least answer these questions in case somebody here wasn't clear. Do you want to start? Do you want me
Sure,
to-
and Mark's going to talk about school choice.
Yeah, so school choice, when they ask the question, does it fully cover the cost? That's a difficult question to answer, because, school choice students run the gamut through all the grades. So if you want to look at it from the sense of, if you eliminate school choice, do you eliminate costs? No. Yeah, even if we got rid of all the students, I don't think we'll eliminate a teacher. So, does it cover the cost? It's hard, because the costs are all split out, and, you have these students intersected in the grades. Right now, for FY25, and let me go, because I just sent this off to, actually, I probably still have it open. Let me just open my, so in FY25, the school received $1.6 million in school choice funds. And that was a big sped increment. It's a little more than other years, because we got a big sped increment because there were sped services for school choice students. The sending tuition, which is on the town side last year, is $1.09 million. So there was really $600,000, $550,000 more taken in school choice revenue overall than what was sent. We don't really look at it that way, because, again, they're in two separate ledgers. But, I think if the question is, what happens if you eliminate school choice, you're going to eliminate $1 million or so in revenue for the school. I don't think you're going to eliminate many expenses, because it's all interwoven within the, the various departments and grades where those students exist now. On the town side, you're going to eliminate the sending expense, but there's 124 students, from families in Belchertown that are choicing out that are, probably going to have an issue, because you can't have one without the other. You either do school choice sending and receiving, or you don't. So,
So people can can't choice out if you decide not to participate?
nope.
I did not
How
know
do we
that.
easily explain to a parent, like, school choice, if you suddenly stopped it, all those expenses still exist? Like, I think of it as classrooms have to be a certain size. You got 20 kids in a classroom. You could add 2 or 3 school choice kids, and the district now has extra money to work with. If those classrooms shrank to 12, you're not going to pack those rooms with 10 school choice kids each, because that doesn't really make sense fiscally. But I don't know if there's a better way that you've heard to explain that idea.
You have 12 grades and you've got 161 kids. So, if you divide that out, they're not necessarily even, but that's only a few kids per grade. So
We're not shutting down a classroom
yeah.
Right,
with that. And if
Or
I-
adding a classroom.
right.
and if
Is
I-
it a money-making tool? Like, if you were to say, we're going to add 30 school choice kids, would we break even, or would we be losing money?
I don't want to give up $1 million in revenue and have to do a budget. Let's put it that way.
No, but I think we get $5,000 per school choice student, and per pupil's expenditures are 18 grand. Like, is there a point where you could actually lose money by taking too many school choice students per particular grade.
I think if it made you get a new teacher, you could.
Yeah, so is that kind of the tipping point, when it becomes a room full of school choice students per that grade, are you losing money?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know that you're going to have that many students in one grade that's going to come into play.
Well, we also limit how many we open,
Yeah.
how many seats we have per grade, so we wouldn't
Right.
let it get to that point.
And we take that into consideration with,
Yeah, I mean, I assume the principals take that into consideration when they make their recommendations.
And don't
Just
forget-
watching their conversation, I'm not sure which direction they were thinking, so I wanted to kind of
Yeah.
make sure we explored both.
But let's say
extremes.
we had an entire classroom of school choice students. Like if they are all general ed students, that's still $100,000 coming in.
30 times
Correct?
5.
No, I'm saying 20.
Yeah.
Oh, 20, okay.
And
Correct?
And
Right.
we also get reimbursed for special education
Right.
costs.
Yeah,
Right.
we get extra for that. So I feel like,
Because I think that is a common misconception that we don't.
Do you get fully reimbursed?
I don't know if it's
Yeah.
full, I think it's.
For
a
school
times
choice,
it's a
yes.
percent. But
And
for
it's,
school choice,
and it's
full.
transportation, correct?
Transportation.
Parents had to do
I
transportation.
thought, no.
no, if they
Right,
have transferred somewhere else.
Oh,
When you take a school choice kid in, let's just say in second grade, and they stay in Belchertown, you owe them. You own them for the rest of their career. So if I have to send a kid out of district,
I was thinking a regular student's transportation.
okay.
The parents have to drop them off from Granby
Yeah,
to here, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
But Justin, Mark, clarify if I'm wrong. Oil, electricity, building repairs is 400,000 of that, school choice. Tuition offsets,
314,000 last couple of years.
yeah, and the positions we have are like the grounds position that we share with the town. We have the resource officer in there. So, I mean, there's positions in there, but it's not like, I don't know if there's any classroom teachers in there, but that's 400,000 right there too. So, it's not like we're using all school choice for positions, you know? So if we didn't have the 314 for an offset, we gotta come up with that. And it's oil, electricity, building repairs.
Yeah. I didn't get the sense from watching their meeting that they wanted to eliminate school choice. I got the
I
sense
got
that
the sense
wanted
they were trying to
increase it.
figure out what
Yeah,
they should do.
like on what it did to the budget.
But I also think part of that discussion was about the fact that that funding source comes directly to us.
Right, because there was a question asked of the town accountant if school choice is beneficial.
Yeah. Does
I
it?
mean,
Yeah.
previous select boards have, I think, not appreciated school choice because it was money that the district got to dictate how it was spent. And my take on that is that it's because of school choice that we don't have to go to them to ask for money mid-year because of a problem, right? We're able to help ourselves with school choice with it. Otherwise, we might have to go to them and say, I don't know, this boiler broke, like, we need $50,000. Like,
Kind of like free cash in a way.
yeah, it's kind of our own, I don't know the way to.
And just to, I want to give an example. In previous budget years, we've asked for some money around new curriculum resources, which was denied. So we had to use school choice to purchase a whole new ELA instructional resource, and that's about $300,000.
Did you want to do the second question?
What's the second?
Chapter 78 is decreasing, why the number go up?
So I referred Lisa, and I hope anybody who's watching or listening, we had the presentation from Tracy
Oh, yeah.
earlier this year about the Chapter 70. And Jill said it in the meeting, Chapter 70 is very complicated, and she's not wrong. Like, it's horrible to try to figure out, but Tracy really lays it out very simply and kind of how that works.
Could the one thing that if we go to the tri-board meeting, this comes up, could you be ready to explain what hold harmless is, how it's helping us? Is that possible?
Yeah, I mean, basically what hold harmless means is that when they look at Chapter 70 funding, when the state looks at Chapter 70 funding, if you have declining enrollment,
Which we do.
that doesn't impact your Chapter 70 money. So basically, if you have more enrollment, it goes up, but if your enrollment goes down, your Chapter 70 doesn't go down, and it will go up by whatever amount that DESI allocates per student. Like I just said, for FY25, it was $104 per student. So FY25, Chapter 70 went up by 104 times the student population from FY24. So basically, it'll always tick up a little bit. And then the other piece of net school spending is the required local contribution, which the state calculates based on like wealth factors. You know, it's property values and income for the particular town, and figures out what the town can afford to contribute in terms of their tax base. And Belchertown over the years has been pretty much even. Like last year, it was like, I think it was like 15 million. Like it's very, the two numbers are very even in terms of how it gets calculated.
Mark, next Tuesday night, 6:30. Or on a calendar.
What's that?
Your tripod.
And again, I mean, nobody's an expert on Chapter 70 because.
But Tracy's presentation is pretty dang good.
Yes.
Like, it's pretty concise.
The third question that they asked was special ed spending fluctuations and why that happens.
So just to be clear, they're looking only at this special education line under state assessments. So in FY, according to this sheet that they looked at, in FY 25, it was $565, and FY 26 is projected at $4,587. So I don't actually know what, I think she explained it in the meeting, and I just can't remember, but it's not like the
Is
full
that,
special education. This is what she sent.
is that, what's that reimbursement?
Extraordinary relief.
No, OTPTs, Medicare, Medicaid, Medicare, and that goes directly to the town too. We don't see that.
Yeah, I guess I'd have to watch it and try to see what they're actually looking at.
I don't know if that's.
So it's their documents called the forecasting workbook. And that's, I think what they were trying to do was pull a bunch of different things together, is trying to see where's the money going.
I think that it was a tool provided by DLS that Jill was asked to use, and so they were reviewing it. And some of the discussion was about whether it was a good tool or not a good tool. Yeah. So they were going through this tool that they've gotten from the DLS.
I mean, to answer generically, the big swings in sped expenses are tuitions. We have tuitions that are $130,000 per kid, so it depends on who you have for students year to year, someone coming in, going out, and then also if there's services, like if we happen to have a need for a one-to-one para or a nurse, that causes swings. So those are the biggest things that change in terms of
These
sped
swings
expenses.
are really, this is a small number. It was from the state assessment, total cherry sheet assessment in 21, fiscal year 21, it was 2,200, fiscal year 22 was 7,400. Like, we're talking, like, yes, it's up and down, but it's like, we're talking less than 10 grand across the board.
I gotta see what
Yeah,
that
I
is.
can't remember what she said in the meeting, but I remember them talking about it, and I remember also thinking that's like not our special ed budget, like it's some other thing. So, you know, I understand why they were confused, the numbers fluctuated, but I think it's good, negligible.
I have a question about something that you said, Brian.
Yes.
You said that the special ed reimbursements that we get from Medicare,
Yeah.
that money goes to the town and not into the school budget?
Right, directly to the town.
So that's come up in the past when they're like, well, you don't turn free cash back into us. And, you know, the response has been, oh, okay, but you got the Medicaid funding. Like, that's money that never gets seen. Like, it's just kind of, it's there. We've never demanded it because it's gone to the town and they use that.
There's a line here for Medicaid reimbursement.
What, how much are we looking at?
160,000.
No, it's just.
Yeah, it's not small either.
It's traditional in the town. It's just,
Right.
That's the way it always is.
It's very easy to like kind of forget about it because it happens like way past the spring, like when that happens. But yeah, that's money that gets turned back into the town. It does not come from school. But the school bills it in.
Yeah, and that's typical in any town. I've never worked in a municipal district where the school department got the Medicaid.
There was at the MASC conference a couple years in a row. There was somebody there from Medicaid, or somebody there with the express purpose of like trying to convince school committees like how to bill more in Medicaid or how to get more in Medicaid. And most school committee members were like, we don't see the money anyway. Like, it wasn't on their radar. So I think that that's very true that, like, most school committees don't see this money. Does Amherst, is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just trying to understand the incentive, especially if you put staffing on it, we get the reimbursement. So you're saying the school works on the reimbursements?
We have to do all the work, yeah. And a couple of years ago, we used to have a person that did it, but we eliminated that position, and we contract with LP VAC now, and they do our reimbursement, and they have people that are specialized in it, so we're hoping to see more return, because that's their expertise rather than just a clerk.
That comes off our bill.
But that's kind of what I'm,
Well, we
Then the
pay
money
it, we
goes to
get
the
the money, yeah,
right.
right.
And that's, like Mark said, happens everywhere.
It's nice to bring up and
I mean, it would be nice if we would at least be able to get the money back that we put into the resources of going after the money. That would be nice. Whatever we pay those consultants, that at least the town reimburse us for that.
So PT, OT, nurses, they all have to do the logging in of Medicaid.
All right. Anything else about this? All right, I'm going to move along. Jake, you have your presentation from MASC for us.
Yep, at MASC, I went to a presentation that PARS, the Public Agency Retirement Services, put on about, they call it a separation incentive. Essentially, what they talked about were challenges that face Massachusetts schools: federal funding cuts, rising costs of inflation, salaries, budget difficulties, tax increases capped at Prop 2.5, changing landscape of the student body, declining enrollment, and an aging workforce. Those were the challenges that she said in her presentation this addressed.
Sorry, and what does changing landscape of the student body mean?
Like demographic shifts, multilingual learners, special ed changes, like that kind of stuff. Voluntary separation incentive plans are one-time offers that encourage eligible employees to retire or separate from the district earlier than they normally would, which accelerates natural attrition. There are a lot of pros, a lot of cons to this, but what they do is a free assessment off of I believe it's a fairly simple form, she said, how many teachers, how many years they've been in, and how many years of service they have. And what they give you is essentially an estimate of how much could the district save over a 5-year period or over a 10-year period if you were to pursue one of these incentives. And they run everything. Nothing happens through human resources. So they figure out the tax-deferred 403B plan for all the employees. They give them all the options. They take care of all of that, and they include the fees for that in what the district will save over time. She said a lot of times she'll get back to a district and say, it's not time for you to do this, but here's when you should be thinking about doing it. Given that a lot of those factors apply to us, it made sense to share at least what they do with the school committee.
Can you share with us what she said the cons were?
So the cons would be things like you're going to lose your most experienced teachers 2 or 3 years earlier than you were planning. Pro would be if you know you're shrinking and you got a science department and you got a teacher who you know is going to retire in a year or two, and you got a great new teacher, but you're shrinking so fast that you're about to lose that great new teacher, you can essentially incentivize that teacher who's been around for a while to retire a little early, keep that great new teacher. And the report they give back allows you to see what you might be looking at and who you might lose, and the district can say, this is not something, we're going to lose our whole science department. This is a terrible idea. That's what they do.
How do they know, like in the scenario you described, teacher that's retiring, great new teacher that you want to retain, like, how do they factor that into the picture?
They just give you a report of, here are the people who qualify for 2 years away from retirement, 5 years away from retirement with 25 years of experience. They give you the chart. Admin, central office has to look and say, ooh, this is gonna kill the ELA department. This is gonna just, wipe out third grade, whatever it is.
Yeah, because I think my other concern is, I hear that we're having challenges, everyone's having challenges filling open positions, so I would be concerned about that.
Unless it presents like a strategic way of doing it.
Right.
Like we have very specific, like you mentioned, like a science teacher who's been around for a long time, and maybe you do have somebody who's like fresh on new science changes over time, so like new concepts and stuff, and so you could like selectively think about it.
Right. But it doesn't sound like that would be work we would have to do.
Right, oh yeah.
Or our administrators would have to.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, that's what it, when I say we, it's the.
But just so I understand, there's nothing we can do. They have to buy into this, correct?
Yes, they could
So,
still say no.
If,
Oh, yeah.
But I have a question.
but I wasn't done. But if,
Just to be clear, I'm not sure that this is a great idea. I think it's a good thing.
No,
to
it's good
look
for us to
into.
talk about.
Yeah.
if I'm the young teacher coming in and you're the old crabby teacher that they want out, right? But you have to work 2 more years to get this, most likely I'm still going to be out, right?
They factor that in and they say, you're going to end up paying these folks, and they would have retired anyways. So we're not going to count this as savings. Here are your actual.
But we don't do
savings.
anything as a district to say, oh, Heidi, we'll pay towards to get you out sooner.
They pay 80% over the course of 5 years. This changes, but the example she provided was you pay 80% over the course of 5 years to incentivize an early separation.
Who pays the
The
80%?
district pays it
So we have to put money into this.
over a 5-year period, and then you save money because your highest salaries are gone. And so they do the cost benefit analysis, and they say, over those 5 years, here's what your net savings is when those salaries aren't in your salary budget line.
So there's a cost to the district.
You're paying 80% of the salary of
Not
someone
immediate,
who's
so
not.
like to do the work, to tell us?
No. Let's say we jumped on board, right?
Yes, you basically, pay- like, the example she talked about, she's like, sometimes districts choose to do 50%. Sometimes they choose to pay 80%. Like, that's a dial you can kind of move. But like some districts I've heard of around this area have said, early retirement, $10,000. What PARS talked about at the MASC was, that's a very blunt tool and it doesn't work well. This one spreads it out over time. They manage the 403B sections of it for the employees, so it's not a burden on your central office, and they can do a more granular analysis of who they think is actually going to retire based on the trends they've seen across the country.
Where do they see the savings coming in? Is there going to be a new hire at a lesser rate?
So that's the two things. Either there isn't a new hire, because you know you're shrinking so fast that you're not going to replace those folks, or the person who's replacing them is within, I think she said the first 5 years, so there's going to be at least savings on those retirement tables for those years.
That's assuming you can backfill.
We're at master.
Which is the tricky part. Like, you're pointing out an excellent point. Like, the number of people who are going into teaching is significantly reduced.
Very nervous to bank on that.
Well, I have a question. So how many Unit A or teaching staff do we have?
I'm sorry, Unit A?
Yeah.
I can give you a rough number only
I'm
because
going to say,
Yeah, rough number.
our school doesn't, there are some staff
79.
who it's listed as
Heidi's waiting in the queue.
Under 300?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm thinking that with under 300 staff, that's probably, that information probably can be calculated internally. Am I missing something?
under 300. We are 221, but that has duplicates in it.
155 based on last year's desk report.
Yeah, I'm thinking that information
For
can probably
Unit
be
A?
calculated
It
internally.
says total teacher FTEs.
Yeah. That's not everyone in Unit A, but it's teachers.
Oh. So it's a little higher because you got speech, you know.
Yeah.
I counted 191 in the current budget under the teacher contract.
That makes sense.
I mean, I think for larger
Everyone
districts,
agrees less than 200.
but with under 200, that's probably something that you could probably calculate internally.
Is this for administrators too?
Yes. It can be, you dial it in if you're talking about it. But she does the whole analysis, and then she gives you it
How
for
about
free, and you go
violate
through
it?
it.
Sorry, Heidi had a question, or wanted to.
Well, it makes me think about, like, they talked about birth rates and district shrinking. It would be great to know, like, in the next 10 years, what does her report say
Who talked
might be
about birth
benefit?
rates?
Brian Gibbons.
Yeah, but that,
I think the only thing empirically
Don't say.
that we've been seeing though is, it used to be 5 or 6 years ago, when we hired in the district and somebody left, we could count on saving like $20,000 a position because somebody left high and we were able to hire low. And that's not happening as much anymore. So I think on the savings side, you have to be careful because, if the model is, we're going to save that kind of money, we've hired some people at more than the person who left was at because it's just hard to hire teachers. So the savings end the trend has definitely shifted in the last 5 years from what we used to be able to count on in September to what happens now.
So
It's just
if it
something
gave
to
us
keep in
this report, right, and it said these people were leaving, and we saw like, no, we can't do these people because that would kill third grade. Could we not offer it to them, but offer it to other people, or do you have to offer it to everybody?
She talks through, like, your options, but you can change the dials. You can basically say, we're not going to do teachers who are 51, we're going to do teachers who are 55 and over. We're not going to do teachers who have 25 years of service, we're going to do teachers who have 30 years of service. She gives you that report so you can see it.
you couldn't do it by grade.
No, you can't, so she did talk about that, you can't like drill down.
But you
and
could
say-
look at it and say, I mean, you can't
tweak
pick
it
a
based on
person
that?
based on what they do.
You could say yes or no, depending on impact to the district, but you can't say, like specifically, we're not gonna.
Can I say you can do it, Jake, but Mika cannot?
No.
Okay.
You'd have to find it.
That's, she said that's the elimination.
Okay.
But she also talked about that teacher who's been teaching for 35 years. She said they never take it because they're lifers forever.
They love what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that's what she pointed out. She's like, you're never going to get, that person's never going anywhere. You don't need to worry about them leaving.
But there's the people who are like, oh my God, I'm 3 years away from retirement. I can't wait. I only have to come to this convocation 3 more times. I was making fun. Okay, thank you, Jake. So does anybody else want to present something from MASC next meeting?
May I ask a question? Are we doing anything with this?
Oh,
We might,
okay, well, there was no action.
oh, I'm sorry,
So
I'm sorry.
I guess if we want to do something with it, we can put it on the agenda and somebody can email if they want it with an action. Is anybody hard pressed they want to do something with this?
I'm not hard pressed, but if it's not hard, like, if it's not hard to do, if it's literally printing out a form and sending it to her and we get the information for free, why not? If it's going to be 2 hours of work, I don't want to put that on someone, but.
I'm just saying if sending this form makes you get all kinds of junk mail, I'm opposed to it. I hate that.
No, I don't think, this is a fairly professional government organization that does these all the time. I don't think they're like that.
So if we get things sent to our house,
Jake, no, it'll go to you.
I'll just forward it to Jake's house.
yeah,
If it's just a short form and the information is free,
That can't hurt, I suppose. How do you feel about that?
so you'd like me to pursue it? Like, just get some information? So-
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
See how it is.
Yep.
You can report back to us if it's easy or difficult.
Okay.
Okay.
Please define easy and difficult.
Easier than the job you're currently substituting for.
Okay, we'll do it.
Get spit out. Okay, any other members want to present something?
I mean, I will at some point, I just can't tell you when.
Not next time?
Not
Okay.
next time.
If somebody presents next time, it'll be me.
Okay.
I'm not sure about that, though. All right. So Heather did a really good job of this new thing I got with subcommittees, and I was really impressed because we were like, no, wait, we need this. So thank you, Heather. Curriculum and instruction.
so we've pretty much already discussed the competency determination.
Check, done.
Personnel and policy.
So number 2, we already discussed, and then
Check.
number 1 was the cell phone, policy. Jake, you want to talk about that one?
Sure. We talked through some model language that was provided by an organization. I think that administration might have some feedback for us, some stuff for us to discuss, but we recommended that it be brought to the whole school committee to hear. I don't think it's not one of those ones we want to rush. We want to give our school committee time to research or maybe read some of the resources. There's a bunch of great books too about this topic, so, but the conversation is coming, and
So this will be on our next agenda.
The first reading will be on our next agenda.
it gives everybody a month or so to like kind of wrap their head around and talk to people.
And I feel like I saw something in the drive. I did look
It
at it.
was, the policy was.
Yeah.
And then the questions that the principals had about it, we'll have those too, so we can kind of weigh that with with the first reading.
This is just semantics, and I'm just trying to be clear. Is it a first reading or discussion?
I think that's both, right?
Well, first read means that, you know, you're going to move it forward, and then if there's any changes, we can make changes and stuff like that. Discussion is we'd have some more discussion about it before we brought it to the committee as a kind of like the first read. Like, do we want to weed things out, or do we just want to bring it forward as a first read?
Is there
The policy.
is there an actual policy?
There was an example, yeah,
Yeah, there was a policy in the drive.
yeah.
So is that still coming to us?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I feel like that would be a first read. And then if we need to revamp it, then we revamp it
Okay.
and do a first read
But
again.
hold on, Ken, where is the policy coming from? Like, where was it developed?
Based off of, give me 1 minute, phonefree.org and the Massachusetts State Senate's
So this
recommendations.
is a policy you developed.
I took examples from 2 places, yes.
So yes, you developed it.
But it came to your committee tonight, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it came to committee, we looked over the policy and felt that it needed to be brought forward to the full committee. I'm fine with it being a first read or a discussion, but I think because we do have something in writing, I'm fine with it being a first read. Although I would like the information from the principals so that we can have that available when we have discussion.
I feel like it's appropriate for it to be a first read. I mean, if we get stuff that makes us change it, then we would just need to do a first read again.
And if I could just back up for a minute, Jake actually volunteered his time to come in to do a presentation on the faculty meetings. We had a faculty meeting where we met with Jay Bishbrook in Belchertown High School, and he shared the information that he shared with us at the school committee. And there was a survey that he gave out, and the majority of the individuals felt like we should have a policy around phones type things. And then we went to the elementary, and I don't know if the survey data, was it shared in this drive? Maybe in the...
Oh, I didn't see it in the...
Okay.
It's in our policy packet.
Right. Maybe we can share it in the full committee drive, so
I'm
you
not gonna
guys...
look at it in that drive.
Yeah, right.
So you know to look for, right?
Yeah. And that's kind of what led the discussion. And then Jake had asked me, we had some discussion about policies, and, you know, DESE hasn't, or MASC hasn't come out with any policies or anything like that. So he did have 2 policies that he shared, so I asked him to start with that if he was okay with it, that we would use that for a base to go on. There was some conversation whether it was too lengthy because it had some procedures in it, or if it was exactly what we needed to do. So whether it's a first read or discussion, we can talk about that. But I can say without a doubt that the survey had said, you know, district-wide teachers, that we should do something.
91%.
91%. What that something is, I don't know.
So 91% said they would like model language, and that model language was provided to them, and there was a link.
I have 2 questions. So, when you presented at these faculty meetings, are you presenting as a school committee member, or are you presenting as a...
Well, I can't present it.
Okay, so I'm just curious, like,
Just a
what was the
concerned parent.
kind of, you presented as a parent?
Yeah,
Okay.
never mentioned being on the school committee,
Okay.
but I think obviously people know.
Right.
Well,
in the
yeah,
crowd,
so
some know
that,
I
yeah,
am.
I mean, it's an interesting sort of thought. And then who developed the survey?
That's from phonefree.org survey.
I see, okay. Okay.
All right, so I think next time we'll put this on the meeting as a first read.
Yep.
There's no law that we can't do a first read again if like we change it.
No, I just wanted to clarify for Heather.
Yeah. All right, we're
If
good
it
with
was
that?
first or discussion. Yeah.
Okay. Property and Transportation was the only subcommittee that didn't meet tonight. And Finance and Budget.
Yep, we just had, Mark give us an update on the status of the FY '26 budget and the preparation of the FY '27 budget.
Perfect.
Yeah, we're in good shape.
We're in good shape.
And I see nothing about Healthy and Safer Schools or Collaborative, so I'm assuming they didn't go.
Oh, we meet tomorrow.
All right. Any questions from the media? No? Any media online?
Are they looking for a new director there? Or?
No.
No. I didn't know if they hired one or there's.
Not on the
Why
agenda.
you asking?
Nothing there. Be quiet.
I'm just curious.
Don't answer him. All right.
They did.
I am gonna, I'm gonna make a motion to go into executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21, Part 3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation with units A, B, C, or D, or E, as conducting said business in open session would have a detrimental effect on the school committee's bargaining or litigation position. We will not be returning to open session. Jake?
Yes.
Mika?
Yes.
Yes.
Amy? Yes. And I'm yes, so that's 5 yeses. So we are in executive session at 7:19.
Are we going in there?
Yeah, no, oh my God, what would happen?